This program is brought to you by the Government Communication and Information System. That means that you're able to watch this episode of Citizens Connect Konalago SABC 2. Namhlanje sikhuluma nge-Eskom nenkinga zayo, i-load shedding.
My name is Saram Taung. I am the founder of Duchess Aesthetics, and I'm a therapist as well. I've been doing this for the past 16 years. Jalo ka batho ba etsang therapy, re hloka motlakase ho etsa di-treatment tsa rona. So for instance, ke tla re client bookile appointment ya 10 ene ka nako eo ke load shedding. O tlamehile o cancel client o movele to nako e lo reng motlakase o tla bo le teng. And then client end up ile somewhere else because ha o kgone ho provide ka nako a batlang ka yona. Batho ba sebetsa kere nakwana le yona ke nakwana le yona o tlamehile a tle o mo thuse a kgone go tla mosebetsing. So ka tlasa mabakanyana ao re enda pele re lose the client ho fitlela re iphumana se re sa kgone ho patala rent ya rona in full.
So taba ya load shedding e re affectile thata because tshwanetse ibe pocket tsa rona kere, and then ibile too much because really ra fall behind ka payment. So that way we end up re sa kgone go patala rent ka nako, re sa kgone go kry-a stock ka nako akere. That way it's a king ya accumulate akere over the months, and then eventually house patale after a certain month ba khata motlakase. So the clients they don't see the need of coming here. They look for better places, signaling backup. So we lose the client. That's another problem. So how lose the client? No income. No income, Lorna, you're not gonna get paid. Like this month, harakola full pay because this month in the West, remote aging, no yana remote aging.
Reason ya go le fihle mo today, it's because arena motlakase since 2018. Reason ya gore ska ba le motlakase is that Joburg Water ne tlo lokisa di-pipe tsa metsi, and then ba kata cable ya Eskom. So since ntse re tsamaya back and forth re ntse re kopa gore ba re thuse, but a gona help ba re thusang ka yone. We went go Joburg go Eskom, ha re fitla go Eskom ba re Joburg Water e tla lora call gore ba tlo kgona go lokisa, but azange ba re thusa. And then ha re fitla go Eskom ba re tshwantse re patele 6.2. So 5 years ago, fail and there is no motlakase. Re berekisa di-candle. Gase, at times we don't even have money to do that. Akona motho sebetsang mo ntlong. So ke le bana ba bang gona le bana ba ne le bone mo ntlong. My daughter na tsoga ka 4 quarter to 5 transport ne molata. I had go ke mo tsamaise ke miseko a tla tholang electric teng mo go leng right teng. Whatever re etsang dilo tse di ngata di senyegile mo ntlong because the appliances di senyegile. When it comes to buy food, we have to buy every day because arena mo kenyang dilo teng. Fridge ha ibereki, a gona next e re berekelang.
If o sna services tse tlang ho sna motlakase ha o kgone ho sebetsa. So di treatment tsa rona ke tsona tse generatang tšhelete. So ha o sna di-client ha ona tšhelete kena, so ke se kgone ho patala rent ya hao. Landlord ha understand o batla tšhelete ha e feletse a se bothata ba ya kere.
Gora re santse ke go batla mmereko mongwe because go gae ke tshwanetse ke sende tšhelete, tshwanetse ke patele di-bills, tshwanetse ke wa bona. So yeah, it's sad.
Ke single mother, ke na le bana ba bararo. Ha o sena ntho e ke tlisang ka tlung o support bana ba ka ke mathata. Ke tlamehile ke support bana ba ka ke mosebetsi wa ka, a se side hustle ena ke mosebetsi wa ka, this is my all. So ha ke sa thole di-client ke sa kgone ho generate tšhelete, ha ona ntho e ke nka mo isa hae.
Ke wisha gore nka tsoga ka osane ka thola gona le motlakase mo gae. Sadly is that we fight alone. Azange thola help, leading neighbors, which is not their problem. I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. But what my problem is that if it wasn't for Joburg Water, never be more situation never at all. And then they said to us we must pay 6.2. Ke mo ke ba kopileng teng go kopa ba re kenyetse prepaid so that I can buy electricity, even though I'm not working, but I'll be able to buy it. Because children I didn't have, I don't have. As kitchilora, I don't know what to. So, ke wisho ka nka tsoga fela ka thola gona le motlakase, gona le electricity mo gae. It's painful. I don't know what's next. There's a lot of things selling gore disenyegile. Our giza surely mo ileng teng it's kaput lona isa bereka. Dilo tse dingata we have to start from scratch again and do those things, buy those things, repair and do all these things.
Yo, so now I can imagine. I can't. I can say is bad. Who will be how will be?
Yeah, me, as long as I work, I create food pay and even more because I get the commission and stuff like that. The product, the target, the nice part. No bonus. So that's the nice part. If her business is a sharp.
Oh, and my sisters, they were go metric. But went to metric di candle. Both of them, 2 following years, Bangwala metric without electricity.
Inkinga isesekhona. So how do we solve it? That and more after the break. Hlala nathi. Welcome back. You're still watching #Citizens Connect. Yiyoge hashtag ongayisebenzisa for today's topic. It seems like there is no end in sight for rolling blackouts. Load shedding yinto esesijwayele. Abantwana bafunda ebumnyameni asikwazi ukupheka, and also businesses have taken a knock. So with me are 2 experts who will help us understand ukuthi kahle kahle load shedding ivela kuphi and what does it mean for the future. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
And perhaps let's begin there. Uguti, how did we get here? What exactly is load shedding?
Yeah, and thanks for the opportunity to represent Letaba Power Station on behalf of ESCOM. Yeah, and we all understand load shedding, it's as if you were expecting water to come out, and for some reason the pipe it's either blocked or there is a damage on the pipe, and therefore you're not getting water. So that's really what happens. It is like availability the molecules or the like you put it, and either we have shortage of it as a result of breakdowns, or we have a higher demand than what we can actually cater for. So that's really, in simple terms, that's how I can explain it.
We have reached this stage for many reasons. Some of them that are well known is that there's not been much investment in maintaining some of the old power stations, and they tend to break quite often. And as a result, then we find ourselves with shortage in terms of the necessary molecules that are needed.
If you look at the power stations, for now, we finally got money to do maintenance. There was a time when we were really moving away from coal-fired power stations, and there was a reduction of maintenance in terms of money. You've got stations like Letabo, which is the shining light in ESCOM now, having had the money all the time, and that is why we are able to run that power station. the way we're running it. It gets maintenance, it gets the outages on time, and we've got money to do the maintenance on it, and when it comes back, it is reliable. So a few of them are now getting that money. So, and we always talk about when is it coming to an end. It's never an easy thing, but at least we've got one example that if you put money for maintenance to happen, guaranteed you'll have the molecules flowing.
Business needed to join because we are affected by load shedding. When load shedding is happening, our members, because as the Energy Council, we are an organization that is member-based, and our members are not able to operate. It takes time, it costs them money, and as a result, we felt it's necessary when government extended an invitation for business to come and assist at the NICOM work streams to implement the presidential action plan, for business to join hands and said this can't be solved by government alone or ESCOM alone, but if all of us put our hands on the deck, we'll be able to solve this challenge.
What were the existing problems in various power plants that would give you sort of like a checklist of what the issues are?
The challenges that have been identified vary depending on the power plants. Katungwan tati power plants, the quality of coal it's not what the plant was designed to use. And every time they use that, because they need to try and keep that power station running, the power station always breaks because they're using a wrong quality coal that they're supposed to use there. Some service stations...
While on that point, does that mean that siyahlupheka mhlambe coal that we need, or the type of coal that we need? Is there a shortage of that before you move on to the next point?
There are many reasons. Some of them were in the media where some of the contractors will change the coal that they're supposed to deliver and deliver a low quality coal and take the quality one. I don't know what they do with it, but there's a lot of corruption that was also involved in some of them. So some of the reasons as well, it's lack of maintenance parts for some of the old power stations, where for reasons of not investing in those power stations, parts to maintain those power stations.
Yeah, look, the conversation we just had, it's an honest conversation. It's a factual conversation because the country is experiencing load shedding. And I think the fact that we've also indicated the ownership of the problems and understanding where we are going to fix them. I still maintain it's a hopeful situation. I think we will make this country proud very soon.
It's mixed messages that we have been getting. Of course, messages of hope also coming from the electricity minister as well, that no, don't worry, in 2024, there will be no load shedding, or, we'll have less power cuts. But the opposite keeps happening, and it's a cause for concern. Do you think even the people who are in charge of doing this job actually understand how big of a problem it is?
Yeah, no, I think they do. I agree that ESCOM, I think they are turning the corner. There's so much confidence that we have now that they are on the right track to address the challenges that have been identified.
From the team, we have a say that we actually put this country into load shedding, and only we can take this country out of load shedding, and we are very committed to it. So the team are putting all their efforts, all their time, all their hard work to get this country out of load shedding, and we will get there.
And what would you say are the misconceptions about people who work for ESCOM or power plants? I know in my household, when the lights go off, we like, batubako ESCOM baqadile gape, or maybe they're messing with the wrong circuit or whatever that you call it. But what do you think are the common misconceptions before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think people think we go there and we enjoy switching off the lights, and that's not it.
You don't?
No, we don't. If you see how we run around when we realize we are getting into trouble, you'll see. And people think probably we don't care about the economy. No, we do. I think we've gone as far as now making even people on the ground understand in simple terms what this does to the country. You know, it's one thing, the fact that we have not been getting bonuses, I think we're feeling it as employees. But what it does to this country, you know, when we hear about a company that is now being shut down, because I think we're not proud of it. And believe you me, the people are understanding it, and the efforts that we are putting in, I think they'll yield the results.
We need this kind of conversation where we're not talking technical jargon, but just plain explaining what is happening.
All right, so many stakeholders doing their bid to make sure that we move towards a load-shedding free country, if there is anything like that. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time. This was certainly insightful.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
This is Citizens Connect. Back with more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Usabukele iCitizens Connect khona la ku SABC2. Sikhuluma namhlanje ngenkinga esihlukumeza kakhulu iEskom ne-load shedding. You are lucky if you're able to see this broadcast because you might be hit by load shedding. Businesses have gone down. Some have closed because of the repercussions of power cuts. So what is the solution? With me to discuss this is Eskom's spokesperson, Sis Daphne Mukwena. Ma, thank you so much for your time. Welcome.
Thank you, Busi, and good evening to your viewers.
Before we get into the serious stuff, abantu bathini nje mawubatshela ukuthi usebenzele Eskom?
Look, well, some obviously have questions like, when is load shedding going to end? I mean, that's the question that, you know, you get even the young ones asking you, when are we going to stop load shedding? So those are the main question that, you know, it's on the lips of South Africans, because really load shedding, as we know, Hore, it's not, you know, something as Eskom as well that we don't want to have, since we understand the impact on the economy of load shedding. And it's not just on the economy, on the daily lives of any normal South African citizen.
Why are we getting power cuts in the first place?
I think this is also because of we had delays in, you know, commissioning our stations, your bigger stations like your Kusiles, like your Midupis. And as you would know, even currently, we are not also putting any additional generation to meet the current demand. But also, as we would know, that one other thing that also led us, you know, or that we experienced is that we were not maintaining our units or the fleet, the coal fleet that we have there, as adequately as it's supposed to be. So,
why wasn't it being maintained?
So yeah, one of the issues
over the years.
Yeah, one of the issues obviously that we had obviously was funding issues. Yeah, so obviously now that you know that we've got money that we can now use thanks to National Treasury, that we now can, you know, do proper maintenance on our fleet. Yeah.
Sure. So ngizobuyela back to umbuzo law that you say you generally ask by even the youngest of the young. Ukuthi kahle kahle kumele si accept ukuthi i-load shedding inathi forever unomphela, or do you then believe that at some point there will be a light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah.
Excuse the pun.
Yeah. We want to improve the energy availability factor. Now, what that means in a layman's language, it's basically you are increasing the capacity that is available. So obviously it needed that we do certain things, or we actually do certain plan, or put a plan in place, and we action that plan. And this plan we had, it was launched in March 2023, and we are envisaging that by 2025 March or mid 2025, we should have achieved what basically we had put in place for and the benefit, and reap the benefits out of this plan.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think maybe it's a good, and I must give you guys compliment, because we probably always talk about it from a technical point, but not showing the faces behind that actually want to fix this thing. We don't want the public to understand load shedding, but at least understand what are we doing about it? And you know, do they have confidence it will fail like us failing? I think if we do this, they will have confidence.
It really sounds like napatanisa nahlanganisa. So we're hearing updates from the power utility. Ukuthi lokhu kuyalungiswa. We're hoping to put this online. This is a problem that we're experiencing. But no, don't worry, kuzoba so. But when we're at home, you know, we're getting power cuts for as long as 4 hours. How much of pressure have you had, especially from just normal citizens and people who say, look, I've lost a business because of load shedding? How much of pressure has that placed on workers and employees like yourselves?
Yeah, look, every day when you read that, especially when we go to these higher stages, because sometimes we get feedback that, can you not, at least while you're sorting out yourself, keep us at least at stage 2? You know, we can live with that up until you end this load shedding. But, you know, taking us to higher stages, and unfortunately, you know, this particular, on the 8th, was it the 8th, the 9th, we had to, you know, into a slip into stage 6, and it was a very unfortunate, basically, setback, because we were on track with, you know, our plans, and hence, you know, we take it as something that really was a setback, an unfortunate situation, that we had all those multiple trips. And this is what most of the community is saying: don't chop and change. Can you just probably stick to stage 2, or which is more, you know, acceptable than any other stage, and so that at least we know that we can plan our day as well, because it looks like chopping and changing as well makes it unfavorable for them.
We've got a lot of people behind us that are really doing well, and that are really putting their blood, you know, on the floor just to get us out of load shedding, but also to make themselves very proud, because, I mean, you can imagine, load shedding ended during my time. So all our employees are going to be happy.
I think we need to work together as a nation to come out of the situation quicker. And that's what I can say.
I think you've started a debate, especially on social media. Tell me what you think. Hashtag Citizens Connect. We've been, of course, reflecting on the issues related to Eskom and load shedding, everyone's responsibility. We're hearing that as well. But I know many of you are taking to social media right now and saying, it's not my problem to begin with, because it's something that has to be provided to us. But in the bigger scheme of things, what is the solution? And clearly, from what we're hearing from the Eskom spokesperson, Daphne Mukwena, it's going to take all of us to bring an end to it, or at least come towards some sort of solution. So thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, and thanks to the viewers as well.
All right, we appreciate you for joining us. Join us next time, Kanala, go Citizens Connect. Enjoy the rest of your evening.